Hello, one and all. This is Nerdcraft here, bringing you Game One out of a best of three series, straight out of the IEM World Champions in Hanover, Germany. Here, spawning on the western position of Metalopolis. He's going to be our purple Zerg, the beast, which is he's not from the east. The beast that represents the east. It's going to be none other than our purple Zerg player, EmpirevioLet. Nice. Yeah, I'm getting my GSL spectators skills going right there. And spawning on the northern position is gonna be our red Protoss player, formerly of Team TSL, a dominative force in Korean Protoss of StarCraft 2. It is gonna be none other than EG's very own JYP. Dun dun dun. I don't know why I went dun dun dun, but hey, it's exciting, man. A best of three series between JYP and EmpirevioLet. Violet not really that well known from Korea, but oh yeah, he was. I can't say that, but he was pretty. He seems a lot more dominative and a lot more well known now that he's established himself into a European team, being Empire. He was formerly of Startail, if I do recall right. I should be able to, because Startail is my second favorite Korean team. Actually, I think they're my second. Yeah, I'd say they're my second favorite team overall. They have my favorite Zerg player in there, Startail July, as well as my second favorite Protoss player, Startail Squirtle. That guy is so awesome. And JYP, of course, formerly being of TSL, which is kind of an elitist gaming group if you think about it. They had such amazing players like Alive, JYP, Symbol. Who else is there? Recently, Nori and things like that. So of course, these two are going to have such great backgrounds, and that's going to show in their game style. They're just very, very good players. We see that JYP is going for that Forge Fast expansion, putting the Nexus down first, and there goes the Forge. And what's really nice about this map, Metropolis, is that as a Protoss player, you can establish your Forge before, or you can do an entire solid wall for the majority of the beginning of the game and just completely cut down your risk of run bys. Positioning like Azella right there, you can absolutely cut down that chance of it getting sniped by a roach and then lings coming in, things like that, because of this destructible debris. And as a result, we do often see a lot of Protoss players against Zerg go for early air pressure. Now, JYP hasn't taken any of his gases yet, so as to whether he's going to be doing air pressure is still a little unknown. He's going to have to grab his gas pretty soon because he's going to need it, of course, for Warp Gate tech. And that's all that's pretty much going down right now. The Nexus just about to finish. Same with the expansion for Violet. He went for a pool first into expansion, which is just, the norm for all Zerg players against Protoss. Particularly now, the reason they do that is because of that air pressure. They want to make sure they can get queens out, a bit faster. You don't want to be caught kind of, with your pants down when you went 15 hatch and your pool's like halfway, or your pool's halfway there, and suddenly a Void Ray and a Phoenix come in. Which, thinking about it, that'd be a pretty crazy timing when it comes to that. That'd be a pretty crazy timing when it comes to the air, but still, that ease of access with the queens and also getting your larva injects so you can drone a lot faster. And we're seeing Violet consistently making 5-6 drones at a time up there, and the two gases have been taken by JYP, and he's starting to get a nice solid gas count. His core is coming up right over here. So when it comes to that tech denial, really making it hard for Violet to kind of scout him around, but it doesn't really matter because Violet's going to know there's going to be a cyber core. Of course, why would you play this game without the cyber core? Because then you're just going mass gateway zealots, that's it, and probes. That's the only thing you can do. But again, I do like the positioning here because of the cyber core. This also makes it a lot easier for JYP to hide tech, just because it's so much harder for an Overlord to come in over here and maybe catch a Stargate or a Dark Templar Shrine, maybe even of course a Twilight Council, or maybe even DT Shrine, because of that amount. And we see the cannon's going to start working on these rocks here. Another pylon going down just to make sure that if that cannon is going to get sniped by roaches, or this pylon's going to get sniped by either lings or roaches, it's not the end for that cannon, so he can keep going up. And Violet's third hatchery now just finishing up. Of course, no surprise there. Reason again you do this is because you want to make sure you're ahead of the. In order, as a Zerg player, in order to be even, you have to be ahead at least when it comes to bases. Queen is coming up right here. She tiptoed her way all across her lovely little home in the expansion. These Zealots going to start being a little annoying, denying creep spread. And by the looks of it, gonna start doing some damage over on this third. The Stargate has finished for JYP, and he's also establishing himself 3 more gateways. So I believe that bringing the grand total up to 4 gates. Would not be surprised to see a pylon go down maybe right here. I don't know if the radius will reach up there. And then use that Void Ray for vision to warp in Zealots, you know, put in a lot of pressure. Lings are going to come in and take these Zealots out. They do have a couple kills on them, but only 1 drone has been killed so far. So all those kills were in either Lings or Creep Tumors, things like that. Because we see that, of course, the Queen is not dead, unless he made another Queen. The Void Ray is now finished and starting to bring in Phoenix, and the gates being warped in. Void Ray is going to be instantly revealed with the fact that it decides to take down this Overlord. And that's kind of a charge thing, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think that you need to charge your Void Ray on the Overlord, because you know you just go charge it on an extractor over here. So, but the Spore Crawlers are going to start coming up. So I don't really agree with JYP going out and doing that to reveal that he does have Void Rays, because now we have a bunch of Spore Crawlers being put down, 2 in the natural and 1 for. Or 2 in the main, and then 1 for every base. Actually, no, this base is not going to have any Spore Crawlers, just a single Queen. The creep will be attached pretty soon, so a lot of Queens can easily come through. Level 1 armor coming up here for JYP as well, so that means he's going to be doing a lot of Zealot pressure with these Void Rays. Of course, you can see the Zealots getting caught in the middle by Lings, not properly microing his Zealots, but you know, I don't think it really matters at this point for JYP. 3 Phoenix going to be coming in. Level 1 Carapace, about a 4th to go. Same with level 1 armor. Glial Reconstitution being researched from that Roach Warren, and now the Phoenix is going to come in, lift up that Queen, but it is going to does not go down to a Spore Crawler. Eventually does go down to no. It actually is still alive. Losing a single Queen, not good. Never good to lose Queens just because they're so important. Spore Crawler is going to start being made right there. And the Phoenix are going to try to see if they can do some drone harass, but the Queens are ready to go. In terms of JYP's, or in terms of Violet's reaction to this, JYP did a pretty good job. What is this? Oh, a neutral creep tumor. Okay. I was like, why is there creep on that island? I am so confused. It's just to make sure that, you know, you don't quickly take that. So again, like I was saying, when it comes to terms of the actual reaction of Violet, I'd say JYP did do nice economic damage, allowed JYP to catch up in drones. As you see, 56 or 57 probes to 64 drones. That may not seem like much, but you know, at the same time, it's you know, the closer you are to the Zerg's amount of drones, the better you are off. And we can see this Queen is not going to go down. Nice transfuge there coming out from Violet. This Void Ray just hanging out here, seeing if he can pick off any creep tumors, which it's currently not. A lot of roaches coming out here for Violet. He's just going to want to put on some pressure. He wants to force JYP to defend, and we see the 131 to 105 supply difference. But JYP has established himself a third, and this can be risky because you have a really nice wide open ramp right there, and you know, Zerg loves wide open ramps. The Robotics Bay has finished. We're not seeing Colossus coming out, so interesting choice there. I think JYP is going to switch, is going to keep making Immortals because he knows that roaches are going to be coming. 8 Mutalisks are on their way. Blink has just started. Now this is kind of that opportune moment where Violet can maximize some damage. Don't know how JYP knew the attack was coming from there, but I suppose, you know, you just have to figure because this is wide open. You know he's going to be checking for a third. The sentries are going to be targeted down first. They're not putting any force fields in. Now they do put some force fields down. The Lings are going to be able to run by here. Going to do a lot of probe damage by the looks of it. Blink is not done yet while the Mutalisks are hatching as well. And now it's just Stalkers and Immortal versus these Roaches. So looks like these Roaches are going to be cleaned up just because of the fact that those Immortals are in there. You know, Roaches stronger than the Stalkers, but at the same time, Immortals are just really, really great. And now the Mutalisk is going to be coming in. Nice murder of Mutalisk coming in here. This one's damaged, so by the looks of it, JYP does know about it. He has his Phoenix over here, trying to see if he can pick one off before it goes. I love Phoenix Micro. It's so cool. It's like, watch me fly backwards. Yeah, where's your god now? I bet you didn't see that one coming. More Lings going to be joining up these roaches here to cause do another attack at the front by the looks of it. Wouldn't be surprised to draw JYP's force over here and bring a small little flanking maneuver, as we see these roaches are doing. This pylon is going to go down, but it's not going to depower this cannon. This cannon hasn't been targeted down, so it was able to take out quite a few lings. And Blink is about to finish right now. Same with the Colossus being coming up. So talk about awesome timing there for JYP. I'm sure it was totally intentional. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. A lot of those build times are intentional, so that they come out or they're ready at the same time. The greatest example is Spire Layer or Spire Hive. You build a Spire and a Hive right at the same time, just because they have the exact same build time, and you can get your. That's the best way to get your Greater Spire up really fast if you're not doing air tech and going into Broodlords. Pneumatized Carapace is on its way for Violet as well. I'm surprised at how much Pneumatized Carapace isn't actually researched in by Zerg players. Of course, it's researched quite frequently, but not all the time, and you'd always think it would. But hold that thought here. We have a huge run by coming in with roaches and lings. Now, JYP is a little reluctant to split up his forces because he knows there's mutas there, ready to take out the third. The Colossus there doing a massive amount of damage to those lings, but the Forge is going to go down as well as a Gateway, so that's not going to be good for JYP at all. Just Violet is such a massively great player. His multitasking is beyond belief, and he's just going to decide to sit back. He was able to secure himself a fourth wall, taking out a Forge and a Gateway, and by the looks of it, taking out 17 probes. So pretty good damage there done by Violet. You're falling back. Go ahead, do it. Because you got ahead. It's like what Artosis says. You don't. I'm pretty sure it was Artosis. It might be Tasteless. 100% sure it's Artosis though. Is when you're ahead, get further ahead. Destiny also says this a lot. It's like if I did a lot of damage to my enemy, why should I try to finish it off at risk that it might not be finished off? I'm just going to play safe, get more expansions, and wait till I have that 300 food army. That's a very common theme we see coming out from Zerg players. And now that the Baleen Carpet Bombs are ready to go, we see that these Lings doing a little run by trying to gauge the force. And these everything here is not long for the world, mainly because we have pretty much the B-52 bomber, the B-2 equivalent bomber in Zerg 2, in StarCraft 2 coming up right now. Overseer being more trying to take up that Observer, but here comes the carpet bombing, and is JYP going to react? He is blinking his Stalkers back right away. He's not focusing down the Overlords though. Oh, not a huge amount of damage done, but still there are Balings in these Overlords. Going to drop them over here. That Stalker living for quite a long time, and the Baleen Carpet Bomb is not doing as much damage as hoped to, but he did take out an Immortal and a Colossus, so that's always good. Now it's just straight up Blink Stalker versus Muta and Roaches here. Very, very nice style. I like this coming out from Violet. It looks a lot like the Mutalisk Baleen Zergling composition, except it's Roaches, Zerglings, and Mutalisks, and then Balins falling from the sky, which is the worst form of Baleen. It's kind of like the Scourge in Brood War, flying Baleen, except it can't hit ground. Centrifugal hooks are coming up for Violet, so I'm going to be guessing that, yes, indeed, he's going to be sticking with those Banelings. He's going to really like them. War Prism is on his way as well. Oh, man, I love the fact that War Prisms are finally being used. Like, all throughout, when I first started playing, which was Season 1, no, it was actually before Season 1. It was in that kind of dead zone between Beta and Season 1. No, it was Season 1. Season 1 was, like, really long and things like that. I do remember. Where War Prisms were not used until pretty much the War Prism patch or White Raw. And then the War Prism patch comes along and everyone starts using them. And I always thought that, I'm like, why aren't they using this? This is so cool. The Mutalisks are not going to see it. They are going to see it actually and going to instantly take that down. A single High Templar on its way. And the Blink Stalker trying to get in here. If they do get a massive Blink underneath this, he's got to wait for that cooldown time. Unfortunately, the Mutalisks are going to get out before he can Blink under. And we see that the fourth here from JYP is being sieged up by Violet. Really nice. I love that Violet is just everywhere on the map. It's exactly what is needed in this game. And now the engagement coming in front. Two Colossus and Blink Stalker coming up. I'm surprised that no Corruptors have been made, but I'm thinking he can just handle it with the amount of stuff that he has. And from what Violet has been doing this entire game, he hasn't really been worrying about massive full-scale invasion, massive full-scale engagements. He's just kind of sitting back. He's like, I'll go poking here. I'll go take out a couple probes, which the total count is brought up to 19 now. And my computer is like not being able to handle the amount of awesome. He's like, hold on, dude, I just need to catch up here. I'm like, oh man, you can't catch up now, dude. You should have been there all the time because I have a good computer. The Mutalisk composition is constantly getting up too. But yeah, like I was saying earlier from Violet, he's just doing these small little engagements. He's not trying to do a massively direct engagement. He's just like, yeah, I'll do a small little engagement here, pick off a pylon or two, maybe a gateway, even a nexus if I can catch it, and you know, I'll do my retreat. If you take out a couple roaches, I'll just remake them. And also if you take out, but if I take out a couple stalkers and stuff, you know, that's a little more expensive for you. The Colossus coming in, massive blink over there, going to catch all those Lings from going in. And huge storm going down on Lings over here. These High Templar are not going to be harmed at all. And now JYP has taken the supply lead, which is never a good thing. But of course we can see in the main base that these Mutalisks have torn up the Nexus. Now they're going at the production. Huge storms going off on these Mutalisks, but unfortunately not going to be able to do it. We might see a base race scenario, and I think it favors JYP right now just because he has the larger army. Of course we can see that the Blinkstalkers and Colossus coming in. Archons being morphed. Archons are really good against Mutalisks. There's just so many Mutalisks over here. And now the Lings are trying desperately to make sure they can take stuff out, but all these Spine Crawlers are going to fall. I would not be surprised to see JYP win this engagement. At the same time, I would not be surprised to see Violet win this engagement. Now, this is extremely close. Violet did finally take the supply lead, and JYP is supply blocked just because all of the stuff is being taken out. Lings are going to be doing a run by up here. Going to see if there's Nexus up here. No, they're not. There's not, no, there is no Nexus. A lot of cannons being established right now. More and more things are being destroyed. That Spire is destroyed, and I felt a little anger at that as that Spire went down. Kind of just a lot of malice and stuff for us. Like, I hate you, Spire. And the Templar Archives is being reestablished again, so we're gonna be seeing High Templar coming in. Oh man, massive storm going off on all those Mutalisks. The majority of them are orange and red. And hopefully these cannons will be able to do quite a number on these. The Blinkstalkers are, the army is pulling back, trying to see if he can take this out, because JYP does not want to lose his base. He knows that that will be game over if he does. It'll be game over, man. Game over. And huge blink underneath the Mutalisks. A lot of those Mutalisks go down, and Violet cannot reproduce these just because he took out the Spire, and these Blinkstalkers over here still doing damage. He took out this hatchery. He was trying to go for the layer, but decided not to, and I'm surprised that we're still sticking on layer tech too. 15 roaches coming up, and now the rest of that army is going to engage. The Mutalisk's going to go over here, but you know what? Hey, surprise! There's stalkers over here, so good luck. And the Mutalisk's going to be coming in. Roach is trying to engage, but yeah, I don't see how Violet can really come back from this, because a lot of his mutas were taken out, and huge blink underneath the mutas. Going to take out another handful of those. And this Zealot, being the awesome Zealot that he is, going to go down to some roaches. Now, Violet is probably relieved that JYP decided to fall back. I'm not surprised that JYP retreated, decided to go back at all, because he was going to want to reestablish some stuff, reestablish some infrastructure. But by the looks of it, he is just going to say, you know what, no, I can't do that. I need to kill you now. You're weak. And I recognize that. And there's the GG from Violet, realizing that there is indeed no other way that he can win. I don't know. I don't know if this is an Idra moment for Violet or not. But, you know, the supplies were pretty close. But, you know, when you're behind as a Zerg player, you're going to always want to kind of be ahead. You're always going to want to be ahead supply-wise. If we actually check out the income here, we had 16 probes to 42 drones, so you know, economically speaking, we were looking in a bit of a favor of Violet. But I just think he didn't like the way this game was going. It was obvious that he was about to lose all of his Mutalisks, at least a majority of them, and he had very little roaches. He just couldn't produce fast enough to keep up with this huge army of JYP, who wasn't consistently producing throughout the throughout these engagements. And we can see here this Stalker is actually going to stop at Rob's guns because he wants himself a good old American shotgun. Anyway, stick around for game number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy the next games. I know you will. I hope you guys watch the next games. Dude, watch the next games. These are awesome. If you didn't watch IM, no, don't go and, you know, lynch me, metaphorically speaking, when it comes to my online life, but I wasn't able to watch IEM at all. I only saw one game. It was MC versus Feast. It was the first game, and all I saw was how awesome that micro was. So that's why I'm doing the IEM, because I need to know what happened. I know who won and everything, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know how it got there, and I want to know how it got there. That's why I'm doing these. I hope you guys are enjoying these as well. Even if you did see IEM World Champion, watch them anyway. Maybe you didn't like Mr. Bitter or Rotterdam's casting, and maybe you like mine better than theirs. I can't really think of people who like my casting over Rotterdam and Mr. Bitter. They're two of my favorite casters. So anyway, stick around for game number 2. My name is Nerdcraft. Please subscribe to the channel to make sure you guys do get the rest of this series, and I'll see you in game number 2.